By the title of this video, you know that we will be talking about what LeBron James said to his teammates following the loss against the Memphis Grizzlies 110-105. In that game, we know that LeBron James' defensive level was absolutely at a 2 out of 10, maybe even 0 out of 10, the way that he was playing that Ole defense. If you guys don't know what Ole defense, it's kind of like a matador just kind of lifting up the cape and the bull just going right through, just non-existent. And it just frustrates me to the fact, before we go on to this quotes that he came out and said, it just frustrates me to see that LeBron James's defensive effort is at an all-time low. The fact that he is allowing a guy, and I understand that LeBron James is one of the smartest guys in the world. Obviously, he knows the shooting percentage of the players shooting from the right wing or the left wing or the top of the key, the corner three. He knows the shooting percentage of all those guys, but his help side defense is so bad that it's pretty much being a detriment to the other team. Obviously, he feels that he is getting out of the way of the other players, but if you are at least in help side defense, it makes it a lot harder for the player to come in and attack the rim or shoot the ball than it would be you just standing in the paint waiting for the guy to shoot the ball. It frustrates me the fact that you left a guy that wide open to shoot a three. I'm sorry, it doesn't matter if he's the worst three-point shooter, the best three-point shooter, or a guy that shoots no threes at all, like Ben Simmons. You don't give him that shot. I mean, at some point it's going to fall in. And I just think that LeBron James' defensive effort is unexcusable, and I think that he needs to apologize to his teammates for that lack of effort on defense. It just feels that he's only playing one half of the side of basketball. I understand he plays so much. He has so many ventures, and I'm glad that basketball has given him that opportunity to not only be a basketball player, but also to play and do things such as make a pizza chain and have the shop, and also work on 2 Chainz' album and the production, and to do movies like The Abominable Snowman and Space Jam 2 that they're going to be working on this summer. But at the same time, you need to play defense. And I know that this is going to be, like I said, not the topic of this video, because we know the topic is, of course, LeBron James and what he said to his teammates. But at the same time, I just had to talk about it. It just frustrates me to a point. Now let's move on to what he had to say about his teammates being distracted. And this is what he talked about to the media after the game following the loss to the Memphis Grizzlies. At this point, if you are still allowing distractions to affect the way you play, then this is the wrong franchise to be a part of, and you should just come and be like, listen, I don't think this is for me. I can't do this, LeBron James said following the loss. With 22 games, maybe the 21 by the time this video comes out, there are going to be that many games left in the NBA regular season. Obviously, they are 2 games behind the Clippers right now, as the Clippers won against the Dallas Mavericks last night. And I just think that the urgency of the LA Lakers and the trade rumors and the trade speculation that happened earlier in the season with Anthony Davis saying that he wanted to be a Laker, and all these picks and all these players going to be moved for Anthony Davis, I think it leaves a lot of sour notes with a lot of players. And it's very hypocritical of LeBron, in my opinion, to say that if you're allowing distractions to affect the way you play, then this is the wrong franchise to be a part of. I think he needs to look at himself in the mirror a little bit. I am a LeBron James fan. I love LeBron James. Obviously, I think LeBron James is one of the best players in the NBA. I think in my opinion, as a guy from the LeBron James generation, I think that he's the GOAT. I think that he's one of the greatest ever to ever do it. But sometimes you have to question your GOAT. And I think a lot of people that were Michael Jordan fans would question his GOAT legitimacy in terms of, you know, the gambling scandal that happened, whether it's true, whether it's not. It happened, and it's there, and it's still documented for people to see. But for LeBron James to come out and say that allowing distractions to affect the way you play, LeBron, you are the only one that isn't about 7 or 10 different ventures alone. I mean, you have your movies, you have your TV shows, your music, your pizza. There's a lot of stuff that LeBron James is doing that is very distracting to him. And I just think that one thing that I saw on Speak For Yourself, and I know that a lot of people don't like Jason Whitlock, but one thing that he brought up was the fact that in the timestamp of the 2 Chainz production video that came out with LeBron James and 2 Chainz doing their thing, it was the game before they were supposed to play the Golden State Warriors, and LeBron James was going to miss that game due to load management. You are drinking wine, you are hanging out with 2 Chainz at 1 in the morning before a game, and you decide not to play it because of load management. To me, that is questionable, because I think if you are LeBron James, the least you could do is not do it before a game, maybe 2 days before, and maybe earlier in the day, especially when you have a game in the next day, in the early afternoon. The fact that you took days off for load management just to shoot a movie or shoot a production video with 2 Chainz, to me, that would rub me the wrong way as a teammate. If I saw the video and I saw the timestamp of when that video was made, If I'm the Lakers front office, I understand that this is what you signed up for when you brought in a guy like LeBron James, but at the same time, I am not accepting that. That is unacceptable to me that LeBron James wouldn't have the courtesy of at least not doing anything if he's going to take days off for load management. I'm sorry. I think this would piss off a lot of NBA fans if they saw this, and I think it should, because I think it's unfair to the Lakers the bench, the players that are playing with him, the front office, the fans, more specifically along the lines of his teammates in the front office. It's more unacceptable for that stuff to happen, especially because you took days off for load management. It's so unacceptable, and it just frustrates me to see that the fact that he just doesn't want distractions to affect the team. Meanwhile, he's the most distracted one of them all. Obviously, Space Jam 2 is going to take a lot of time and effort away from him. Obviously, he's going to film this movie in the summer whenever he's done playing basketball. And I just think that to me, you might as well, if I'm the Lakers, not even make the playoffs. Because I think that if you were to get swept by the Golden State Warriors, I think it would do more harm to his legacy than it would if he just decided to miss the playoffs. I think if he missed them, I think he would be in a better situation than he is now. Having a must-win game against the Memphis Grizzlies, trying to catch the San Antonio Spurs for the 7th seed, because I think you could do a lot of damage if you're the 7th seed rather than the 8th seed. To not even catch up, to not even try and fight. You win games against the Houston Rockets, but you won't win games against the Atlanta Hawks and the Memphis Grizzlies. Two teams that are trying to tank and trade away one of their best players in Marc Gasol to make sure that they are able to get a better draft pick. Is unacceptable. I'm sorry. This is just to the point where I'm getting frustrated, and I just think that a lot of the stuff happened because of the Anthony Davis rumors and situations. We know before LeBron James got hurt, before the trade rumors started happening, they were 4th place. They were in a very good position to end up going to the playoffs, at least as a 4th to 5th seed. I think that would have been more acceptable, and I think I would have lowered my expectations, and if I would have said that was the case, I would have bought it, and I said I would have accepted it. But now that we see that these guys are going to be struggling and might not even make the playoffs, it's a little sad and it's a little depressing because we know what the young kids are doing. Brandon Ingram, since the All-Star break and since February, has been balling. He is averaging more than 20 points per game. I think he had 32 last night. He is absolutely doing a number. Let me look at the numbers really quick. Yeah, he had 32 points last night. Kyle Kuzma had 22. The young kids are doing their thing. The older guys, the bench rotation for the Lakers is just absolutely awful. And I think that this is going to be the last year of Luke Walton basketball that we will see in LA. Because we know that as a player, he did a lot for the Lakers with Kobe Bryant and all of them, but as a coach, he's just not cutting it, and I'm sorry, he just has to go. It's one of those things where he's not doing what he needs to do to get this team over the hump, and you just have to let him go, and that's the way it is. But the fact that those guys are doing their thing, and then JaVale McGee did nothing, Rondo did nothing, Contavious Caldwell-Pope, who I still think is one of the biggest waste of contract space on the LA Lakers, only gave you about, 2 points? In 18 minutes? 2 points in 18 minutes. For a guy that's supposed to be a 3-and-D guy. Unacceptable. Absolutely terrible. Josh Hart played 6 minutes. I think Josh Hart's minutes are starting to get heavily reduced. We know that he was a lot better in the earlier part of the season, but lately, he's been struggling, and I don't think he's been playing that much because I don't think LeBron James likes him very much. And then you got guys like Tyson Chandler, who's playing 16 minutes, giving you no points. Why is a guy that's about 35 years old playing that many minutes? I'm sorry. He shouldn't be playing, 16 minutes? He shouldn't be playing 16 minutes. He's old now. He's not a guy that was once a Dallas Maverick or an earlier version of Tyson Chandler, when he was on the Hornets with Chris Paul and all them. He's not that Tyson Chandler anymore. He's a different guy now. He's older. He's a more veteran guy. You have to play him at least 10 minutes. I think even 8 minutes is cutting it too much. But the fact that he played 60 minutes and got you nothing, even rebounding, got you only 4. For a guy that's gimmick is rebounding and defense, he's just not doing a very good job. And then Rondo, of course, giving you nothing offensively, only 2 points. Mike Muscala playing a little bit, 11 minutes, giving you 3 points. Lance Stevenson, 3 minutes. Some of these guys that played a lot of minutes earlier in the season are getting axed. And I think that they are rubbing and they're upset with the way that LeBron James is handling himself and handling the teammates, because we know that LeBron James is a lot older than these guys, so he doesn't relate to them as much. But at the same time, LeBron James has to find a way to really communicate and really become a team with these guys. Hang out in the offseason, hang out during the week. See how LeBron James can mentor these guys. It just feels that LeBron James doesn't want to mentor young kids, and it's the reason why LeBron James hates playing with younger players, because he doesn't want to do that. We seen that when he came back to Cleveland, he didn't want Andrew Wiggins because he doesn't want to train him. He doesn't want to mentor him. He just wants old, experienced, veteran players, and that's the reason why Kevin Love worked so well. That's the reason why Kyrie worked so well. But now that you have two young superstars, it's just not going to work out, and it's just frustrating to see that LeBron James is letting himself get the best of him and not helping these young guys in terms of getting them to the promised land and getting them to where they need to be. And I just think that that is probably going to be a situation where I don't know what's going to happen with the LA Lakers now. I mean, if I'm Brandon Ingram, if I'm Kyle Kuzma, low key, I'm asking for a trade. I'm not wanting to stay on this team anymore because I think that it's unfair that LeBron James is putting me in these situations when I know that I have done my job and I don't get the mentorship. I mean, Lonzo Ball is also struggling as well, and I just don't think that LeBron James is helping him out. Why are these guys not being helped out by LeBron James? LeBron James is one of the best leaders, I think, that I've ever seen in my life in terms of, other than Tom Brady, because I think Tom Brady is a great leader as well. But LeBron James is a great leader, and he's just not leading his teammates. He did it in Miami. He did it in Cleveland the second stint. Even the first stint, he did it. But now it's like it's optional. It's like he doesn't want to do it because he's too focused on his other ventures instead of helping out his teammates. And there's also stuff that was brought up on First Things First, with Jetta Wolf, Nick Wright, which we all know is a LeBron James fanboy. I won't say the other word. He's a fanboy. And then Chris Carter. And then Chris Mannix, who's a writer and also is a frequent guest appearance on that show. He kind of talks about how maybe LeBron James influenced Rich Paul to say Anthony Davis should go to LA. And if that's the case, then I think we need to start looking at LeBron James and starting to question his motives, because if that's the way that he tried to go about this whole thing, or if that's the way Anthony Davis or Rich Paul decide to go about it, then that's really bad. That's not something that that's acceptable. And then now we're seeing it affect the teammates in a very negative way, to the point where these guys just don't want to play on the team, where these guys might ask for a trade at the end of the season because they are tired of playing with LeBron James, and they're going to use his power move and Anthony Davis' power move against them and ask for a trade, and Magic and Rob Pelinka might have to trade him just because they don't want to be here anymore. It is just a sad and frustrating situation to see that LeBron James cannot do things right now in LA by bringing these, especially when we know that LeBron James is a great player, and he just comes out and says these things that doesn't reflect a good leader. This is a guy that wants to finger point and blame other people besides himself. And as a guy that's supposed to be the leader, the most paid player, the guy that's supposed to mentor young NBA players on the LA Lakers, this is definitely not the way to go about it, and it's just frustrating to see that he is not taking accountability and actions for what he is saying and what he is doing. If I am LeBron James, if I get a Chris Paul type of player, this is the reason why I think me and my friend discussed this. This might be the reason why he didn't want to go to Houston, because he knows that he is not going to be the same player he was a couple years ago, and we know that Chris Paul will get in on him if he decides to play like that. I mean, Chris Paul will literally, chew you out if you are playing defense like that. And I just don't think that LeBron James wants to be chewed out like that. He just wants to be the guy, and just in a place where he is not questioned. He is not questioned for his lack of effort on defense. He's not questioned for his ventures outside and not focusing on basketball, it feels like. Because to me, we all know that one person or family member that juggles way too many things. He's pick up basketball, pick up soccer, pick up football, part of the fraternity or sorority or whatever you do, part of the glee club, part of everything. And, it's just like a bunch of stuff that he's trying to hold up, making sure that nothing falls. And then it ends up, everything just comes crashing down. And I just think that right now, LeBron James is trying to juggle all of these things along with playing basketball, and it's just not working very well. And we're seeing that he is really not doing a good job of making sure that they're pretty much in a position to where they can go to the playoffs and see what it's like to be a playoff team. Getting these young players NBA playoff experience is a good thing. It's never a bad thing, but it just feels that LeBron James would rather not make the playoffs for his legacy's sake than to help these young, inexperienced Lakers get playoff experience, so that way in next year's playoff run, when they decide to go for it, they'll actually do it. And it's just frustrating to see that LeBron James is just not into the season right now. It feels that now that he's known, and after the groin injury takes a lot out of you, he's never had this major injury, and I just think that also is affecting him as well. And just because of all the things he has to juggle, and it just feels that now everything's being dropped and let go. And now we're seeing a LeBron James that is very disinterested, doesn't want to play defense, doesn't want to help mentor the young players. It just feels that he would rather let them fend for themselves. But anyway, guys, that is just my opinion on this whole situation. What do you guys think of last night's game? And also, what are your guys' opinions of the Lakers' playoff chances? Are they going to make the playoffs? And if so, are they going to be the 7th or 8th seed or out of the playoffs? I would love to know your guys' opinion in the comment section down below. And also let me know about LeBron James and the way that he's blaming his teammates about being distracted about all these things. Meanwhile, LeBron James has all these other ventures that he's working on. And also, what did you guys think of what topic I brought up, especially with the 2 Chainz video that came out a day before the Lakers were supposed to play the Warriors and LeBron James went out for load management? Would that frustrate you as a teammate, or would you be okay with it because you know LeBron James is a good player and he'll be able to bounce back from all this stuff? I would love, like I said, I would love to know your guys' comments and opinions in the comment section down below. But anyway, guys, this has been your boy Bernie here on The Charge, giving the latest NBA news and rumors and also basketball opinions. And guys, if you haven't hit that subscribe button, what are you doing? Hit that subscribe button. Also remember to hit that notification bell so you don't miss our NBA videos talking about stuff like this, or even talking about last night where we talked about John Morant and what we think about him being the number 2 overall pick. And also, do you guys think that if you were to start a franchise, would you go Zion or Luka? Go and check that video out and leave a comment on who you think you would start your franchise with in the comment section down below in that video. But anyway, guys, I'll catch you in the next video. Peace.